Hey everybody, this is Scott with Stand Your Ground Studio, and I have an interesting one today. This is the next step in everything I've been talking about in my playlist. The Road to World War III exposes the hierarchy. It starts with this headline right here. Conservatives in secretive groups slow walk Trump support. And this is all about that hidden agenda that's been behind the GOP all these years, and they're being forced out in the open to deal with Trump, who's that runaway monster they can't handle. So jumping back a few presentations, you'll remember my video from The Road to World War III goes through 9/11. And on this very first slide, it's all about how we're getting back to the 28 missing pages in 9/11. But in the meanwhile, we're going to externalize the hierarchy. The old guard here in U.S. politics is going to be exposed and demonized. Corruption in business and politics is going to be exposed. It will get tied to the Bush administration. And in the midst of all that, Christianity is going to suffer a major blow in the public perception at the same time. So right here, in this article, keep in mind everything I just said, and I'm just going to read select parts, and then you can fill in the blanks for yourself. Donald Trump has inflicted a dark night of the soul on many conservatives. Then it goes on about the lesser of two evils, Trump versus Hillary. The self-reflection is particularly acute for members of the influential Council for National Policy, an umbrella network of conservative activists, the membership of which has been largely secret, but can now be exclusively revealed to a greater extent than ever before by CNN. Uniting social, fiscal, and religious conservatives, the CMP, nicknamed The Group, has prided itself for years on promoting conservative values and helping grassroots conservatives outside the GOP structure to coordinate and share ideas and information. Its membership is a powerful organizing force behind conservative candidates and has helped to cement the movement's aspirations deep in Republican Party ideology. CMP may be the most powerful group whose members you didn't know. As the group explains on its website, which provides no membership information, the CMP brings together the country's most influential conservative leaders in business, government, politics, religion, and academia to hear and learn from policy experts on a wide range of issues. The membership list is strictly confidential, according to a 2004 memo. The media should not know when or where we meet or who takes part in our programs, before or after a meeting. So up here they talk about a lot of recent presidential hopefuls that went to them for their approval or for their advice. There's a lot of names. I won't read them all, but leaders of key conservative and like-minded groups are also on the roster, such as Citizens United president, former Heritage Foundation president, Tea Party Express chairman, the NRA CEO, and so on and so on. Other bold-faced names, organizers and donors, familiar in conservative world include a whole bunch of other names, a bunch of names from the media. So the CMP's influence is beyond dispute. Reporter Mark Armbender, if I'm saying that right, noted that shortly after candidate George W. Bush spoke before a closed-press CMP session, magisterial conservatives pronounced the allegedly moderate younger Bush fit for the mantle of Republican leadership. And then they say those two moments might not have been directly connected. So what they're saying is there's a dubious connection between them and all the major goings-on within the GOP. They're just kind of bringing it up. Again, it's all about the Bush administration because we're going to bring that up, which is going to bring up 9/11, which is going to bring up the two wars we're still in. And within like an hour of this article right here being published, this came out. Senate okays bill to let 9/11 families sue Saudi Arabia, which should be a whole nother video on its own. So that's one more step towards inevitability. I want to quickly jump over to the only other article I can find on this. Again, it's behind the curtain. It's pulling back the curtain, lifting the veil. That's what this whole stretch of time is all about. They say members of the CMP have managed to keep their identity secret. This is about to end. This reminds me of an article from my Panama Papers video where I said this is the end of secrets. They're pulling back the curtain. There we go. So the CMP's 2014 vision statement, reproduced at the front of the directory, succinctly lays out its goal: a united conservative movement to assure, by 2020, policy leadership and governance that restores religious and economic freedom, a strong national defense, and Judeo-Christian values under the Constitution. But it has long been known that the group included some key individuals whose goals are less benevolent. One of its 5 founders, Tim LaHaye, is the co-author of Left Behind series of the apocalyptic Christian novels and a man who has described gay people as vile, said the Illuminati are conspiring to establish a, quote, new world order, attack Catholicism, and once worked for the wildly conspiracist John Birch Society. So I want to jump back to that Salon article I always talk about. Jump down here. They said the same thing. It's all about taking those old school, paranoid, Christian right-wing people who talk about these conspiracy theories, and we're going to point out how corrupt they are. We're going to flush it all down the toilet soon. So I jumped over to Council for National Policy, and it's one of those websites that's there to, it seems like they legally have to let you know they exist, and that's it. There's like very little information. Very much reminds me of this site right here with Bilderberg. So I just want to jump over to Wikipedia real quick. This is endearing right here. So Mark Armbinder again said of the Council, the group wants to be the conservative version of the Council on Foreign Relations. So again, a lot of what they're exposing is going to be true, but they're selling another lie, and that's what I always say. And this is nowhere near the real structure behind how our world works. It's just enough to let the public know someone's been manipulating their reality behind the scenes, and they get to paint the bad guy in front of everybody. That's why I say there's a false awakening coming. And what I've learned since the start of this year is they start by leaving a bunch of information sit out in the open, kind of like this right here, all these names. And they're like, well, you know, here it is, just take a look at it. And then they reveal fragmented truth over time. So think of the Panama Papers, think of Hillary's emails. Anything can come from it, and you'll only get a tiny piece of it. They can come out with a claim, oh no, this name is in Hillary's emails and the Panama Papers. Let it sit there for a day and then walk it back a little bit like, well, actually it doesn't quite mean what we said it did, but let's talk about these subjects while we're at it. And they can keep slowly bringing it up in the public consciousness. While they reveal truth, it's going to get more complicated. So all this is going to lead to more speculation and free association so that we make all this a lot more confusing. Okay, so I want to end on a note of warning to Christians, and this came to me as I was reading this quote, a united conservative movement to assure by 2020 and all this. I can see a situation in the near future where false representatives of Christianity publicly take a huge stand against all the immorality and depravity that's sweeping the nation right now, and a lot of unsuspecting Christians are likely to get caught up in the battle cry to take back our country, but that's about when the corruption's really going to start to come out, making everyone look bad. And skim through this article here and just look at a little bit of it, caustic combinations. You can see how they take a name and they associate it with what looks like an outlandish belief. And all these look like how they would typically hide truth in plain sight, leaders and money, and just kind of skim through it a bit and get a sense of what I'm talking about, because it is going to come out. They're slowly bringing it up. If you're new to my channel and you're not sure why I'm saying all this, go check out my playlist, The Road to World War III Exposes the Hierarchy. You can start with the intro video, but then right here, The Road to World War III goes through 9/11. That's everything I'm talking about. And then, I expand on that in further videos, because I'm telling you, they're going to expose corruption at a very terrible time, and they're going to confuse everybody who's not paying attention. I've said that more than enough times, so let me know what you think. Please share this video, subscribe to this channel. A lot of work goes into it. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time.